Hey guys, I know it's kind of a late video, but I'm gonna go ahead and upload this now. This is a quick rant video. I know it's pretty early in the channel to actually be posting a rant, but it's something that really needs to be said, and I think that maybe, hopefully it'll open up some eyes. Rumors. Why are they a thing? Honestly. Can somebody answer me that? If you can't answer me that, please leave a comment explaining why people actually sit there and either believe in rumors or start rumors or spread them or even fucking worry about listening to them. Why is that a thing? I got here sitting and I'm thinking, because I got a message on Facebook saying, well, not saying, but asking me why whenever people see me, if I'm such a cool person, why am I never in a big group of people? Or why don't I seem to have that many friends? Or why don't I ever go and hang out with the regular girls like, people would expect me to? Rumors. Back in middle school, I was figuring myself out, and I got into anime. And I also got into different things, like I started liking heavy metal music. I started forming my own opinions on a lot of things, and I started to dress in all black, and I like gothic clothing and things like that. Automatically, because of that, people think that I'm a freak. They think that I'm weird. They think that this kid has problems, this kid has mental issues, don't talk to her, don't do this, don't do that. I don't see how I'm different than anybody else who goes around and wears like regular colors of clothing. I don't see how I'm any worse than those girls that wear, tank tops down that shows their bras and shit like that, and fucking shorts that show most of your underwear. At least my skin's respectfully covered, even though it's in all black, which is apparently a sin. Or when I got into anime, when I got into manga, how I like dressing up as the characters. Let me tell you something. Cosplaying isn't just for freaks and weirdos like you would assume. Cosplaying is my way to escape reality. Many people know that I played parts in the fall play of Arsenic and Old Lace at Great Bend High School. The reason why for that is because I love to act. I love to dress up and I love to be characters. Why? Because when I'm a character, I get to escape the reality that is my life. I'm not saying that I have a bad life. I'm not saying that I hate my life. I mean, it's not great, but it's mine, and I try to make the best of what I can with what I got. And there's a lot I would change. There's a lot that I would take back for myself, but I can't do that. And sometimes when people get under stress, they do anything to get away from it. I used to cut. I have scars. I have this. I have that. But I promised somebody that I would stop doing that. I had to find another method. I had to stop self-harming. I couldn't keep doing that, or God knows where I would be today. So I took up cosplaying because being a different character, I got to step out of my own life for a while. I got to be somebody else. I got to have a new perspective on the world. I got to see the world through someone else's eyes. I didn't have to live by the status quo that everybody wanted me to. I was in my own world. I was in their world. I was different. I had a life that maybe I'd wanted from the start and I couldn't have. And a lot of people, just because, oh, well, that person's not dressed this way, that person's dressed like some character, that person's weird, don't talk to them, they're creepy. But was I hurting anybody when I was just trying to make myself feel better? Because that's a way I cheer myself up, and now I'm too afraid to do what makes me feel good and what makes me have a break from reality and makes me calm myself down, just because you think it's weird and you think it's right to have an opinion and say I'm weird and say that I'm not okay and say this, and that, just because I choose to dress a certain way or because I choose to, role play with my characters that understand through voice action and actual costume, which, honestly, I think it's pretty fucking cool. I think it's great, because, you know what? Not everybody's happy. Some people just have different ways to cope with things. That was my way to cope with things. Now I'm terrified to do it. Reason why? I get judged. Or rumors start about me, saying that I'm creepy or things like that, but I guarantee you, if you talk to me, I'm probably one of the nicest people you're ever gonna know. Just don't piss me off. Or rumors in general. Why do we think it's okay to sit there and trash, like, someone's reputation completely if you don't actually sit there and give valid proof of what's happening? If you have valid proof, if you know what's happening, then either way you should keep it to yourself. But why would you sit there and make false accusations over what you see for yourself rather than what that person is doing? I'm sorry, my cat is in the way. But it's like, rather than believing what the person we're talking about says, or believing what they show, seeing what they do, and actually asking questions about them, and actually taking the time to get to know them, you believe what comes out of another person's mouth. Their name should not even be in that person's mouth if they're talking shit on them. You want to know why? Simple reason being is because if you're talking shit on another person, believe me, I've talked shit on people before. I automatically regret it. Anybody that I've ever talked shit on to, I'm extremely sorry. But why your name should not be in their mouth is because you probably don't know the story. You probably don't know what they're going through. You probably don't understand them. So rather than going and talking shit on that person, rather than going and starting rumors, why don't you ask questions? Why don't you get to know that person? Because while you're sitting there and you're bullying them and you're trying to ruin their reputation and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that, that person might have been the most loyal friend you would have ever made. That person might have been your best friend. And that person might have stuck up for you when you needed them most because they didn't have anybody to stick up for them when they needed someone. So automatically, they're going to want to be the person to stick up for somebody. But instead, you choose to go over there and shit talk them. You choose to go over there and believe what somebody else says. You choose to spread that rumor. You choose to start that rumor. You choose to do whatever. For what? To make somebody else feel like a piece of shit? Why do you do it? Because you feel insecure about yourself? That means you're making somebody else the victim because you're the victim of your own emotions. You're trying to force your own feelings onto somebody else so that way you feel better about it, and that's not okay. Take responsibility for yourself and learn to make yourself a better person before you go and criticize somebody else. Because that person may be one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. That person may be loyal. That person may be... You never know. So before you go and start rumors, and before you go and make jokes, or before you go and judge somebody just on the way they look, why don't you sit there and think about yourself? Do you fit in with anybody? Do your friends actually like you? Are your friends talking shit on you? You never know. Not anymore. And lastly, I want to know. When we know there is one of these people that apparently have some bad reputation on them, and they're different from everybody else as is, why do we make it worse? As an example of what I mean, say you've got one of those quote-unquote weird kids in the locker room with you. You know, say that person's a different sexuality. Say you're in the girls' locker room, that person's a lesbian. Automatically, where it's like, oh, it's one of those weird kids. She's checking us out. She's doing this. She's doing this. Honey, don't flatter yourself. You're probably not even that person's type. That person probably just wants to get the fuck out of there like you do. Because honestly, nobody wants to touch you. Just saying. Me being in that point of experience, because I've gotten a lot of shit like that before, and I really don't appreciate how people think that I want to jump down everybody's throat just because I'm quote-unquote one of the weird kids that don't have many friends, so I automatically go after every girl that I see just because I'm into females. I don't see where you find that everything that walks with two legs that is of my own gender is... I don't see it, but okay. Or like, I had a friend who, he's bisexual, and he didn't tell me until after he left the school that people would, like, grind up on him or touch him or do this or do that just because he's feminine, just because he was bisexual, just because he also liked boys. What's the problem? What is your problem? You're the one acting gay, quote unquote, because you're the one over here touching another guy in some way that apparently the straight community and shit like that frowns upon or whatever. You're doing the exact thing that you don't approve of. So tell me who is really the faggot, so to say, in that situation. Tell me what enthralls you to pick on somebody for being themselves. Would you like it if you sat there and got abused or got harassed or something like that because you're straight? It really doesn't make any sense, does it? You're just being yourself. You're quote unquote being the default, whatever would be a default orientation. Well, sexual orientation. So, I don't understand. Like, that person, there's nothing wrong with them. They're not hurting you. So, why do you have to turn around and suddenly attack them because you feel like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that? I guarantee you they just want to get out of there because they know what you're like, and they don't want something to happen to them. They want to get out of there as quick as possible because they don't want you to sit there and start talking your shit. That basically wraps up this rant. Like I said, I'm sorry that I'm ranting so early in the channel and it's so late at night, but I think I covered some things that really needed to be said that are not going to be said by other people. And I know they won't be said, because if they would have been said, maybe some things would have stopped. And let me tell you something. Before you go and start talking shit on me for posting this video, for trying to stand up for the other quote-unquote weird kids, or the freaks, or the kids that are different, the outcasts, before you go and start talking shit on us for me posting this video for us, why don't you abandon your fake-ass friends that you probably have that you're always talking shit on to actually talk to us and get to know us? We're probably some of the most level-headed people you're ever gonna know. And let me tell you, all the friends that I have that you've said are outcast, or they aren't good enough for you, or you just don't want to talk to them because they apparently seem weird, they're just like everyone else, just with different tastes. And you would probably actually, maybe, if you consider to open up your mind and stop being a closed-minded casket case, you might actually enjoy what we do. Like, you might actually enjoy anime. You might actually enjoy reading creepypasta. You might actually enjoy metal music. You might actually enjoy some of the really cute clothes you'll find. If you just opened up your mind and realized that just because somebody wears all black, they're not suicidal or satanic or metal or something. Like, you know, if you have questions for me, ask me, okay? Don't just suddenly assume that, you know, maybe some of the things that were said were true, but I wouldn't know, because the story gets changed, and then if the story gets changed and the whole school is told a lie, or anywhere is told a lie about you, no matter where you are, and that's a pathetic thing. Like, just learn to keep your mouth shut, and if you're told the rumor, go and ask the person. They may not want to know that rumors are being spread about them, but it'll sooner stop when you actually have the truth from that person. Because if you hear somebody else talking about the rumor that you heard, you can correct them. You have the right to. Stand up for that person. Don't let them sit there and suddenly be the next outcast of the school just because somebody decided to open up their mouth and make an assumption that isn't true about someone. And maybe, just maybe, we'd have a lot less of the kids who are doing these quote-unquote weird things. And you wouldn't have to worry about it, because then they'd feel accepted. They'd feel like they belong somewhere. You don't know what people go through. You don't know the feelings they have until you actually sit there and bother to ask. So that's all I really have to say. If you agree with me, hit the like button. If you like this channel so far, please subscribe. If you like me posting random videos, I guarantee you I'm full of fucking anger. I'll find something to rant about. Just tell me. Topics, anything, discussion, like I said. This page is going to be gaming, discussion, anything really. I mean, I do anything. I'll probably start doing challenges and different things like that too once I can, on the weekends with my friends and things like that. So please let me know if you want to be featured in this channel. If you know me and like, if you know me, just come talk to me or whatever. If you have any ideas for things that I could do, like tutorials or different chatting topics or different games I could play or something, just tell me. I'll be heading up to the mall this weekend, so anybody that has a request should probably put it in now so I can see what I can find for it. Thanks for watching. See you later.